what's up, everybody? It's me, the Spirit here. We're back again with the Bear Den Talks. This is part of season 4 of the Bear Den Talks. And as you guys see here, we're back again with Works for Tips and also Vent to Black Knight. So today, we're going to have some pretty spicy topics to be talking about here. Well, first off, we're going to be talking about the whole Bear controversy that's been going on within Baldur's Gate 3, because that's still fresh in what I believe in a lot of people's minds, because it's kind of a weird thing that people, I guess, accept. I don't know. But I mean, you can say it's a video game. But also, though, we're going to be talking about how Larian Studios now reveals that they want to take a break now after Baldur's Gate 3, and they probably deserve it, because for what I hear is that Baldur's Gate 3 started development about 2 to maybe 3 years before Divinity Original Sin 2 finished out. So they've been working on this game for about 6 years. So, and Divinity Original Sin 2 dropped, I think, back in 2017, 2018. So it's been a quite a wild ride. Um, I guess I can start out first with this controversy, and this one I'm gonna say it like this. So, in recent, culture, I guess you could say, people have this weird thing where, I'm gonna say it right here, anime girls, right? They don't like to see big titty sexualized anime girls, in video games or whatnot. But it's perfectly fine to see a male character have sex with a druid that's in his bear form, because why not? It's great. It's great to get pegged by a bear. So
So real.
so yeah, that's exactly where we're going. So what are your no, Vanta, I feel like you're very strong on this one. So what are your thoughts on this? I feel you feel the energy. Tell us.
I don't think it's that big a deal. I think it's one of those things where people are picking hairs where there is none.
Hmm.
It doesn't really matter. I've said it before. Is like you can have both. Ideally, you can have bussy or big titty anime girls in one game and have not that in another game, and both can still be worthwhile. It's
Hmm.
really at the end of the day, it's going to be whatever the creator's vision is going to be.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
Tips. What is your input, Tips? How do you feel about this?
Uh, it's mainly like kind of very similar to what Vanta was saying, but but in my opinion, I mean, I will say it kind of just weird that people are finding the most like small things to kind of nitpick about this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see your points. To me, at least, there's more. It's probably just a bit more to it, though. I mean, and it's also compares to like real life too. It's like where it goes a bit deeper when it comes to like the whole anime thing too. So it's like, well, you like anime, you like certain characters, and let's say I like this big titty anime girl. Well, I'll be called a weirdo and probably get flamed for it just for saying that, because I like anime characters. And but it's just, to me, it just sounds, it's so weird. It's like this is potentially zoophilia. I mean, I get it though. Like, I feel like this, sure, you can have a romance scene, but at least have it in your human form. But now it feels like it's a weird way of them promoting zoophilia. I mean, but I get it
Yeah,
though. It is a video game, and you can have it. Don't get me wrong, you can
Yeah.
have it. But like, there needs to be a line that's drawn, because like, it's either you accept zoophilia or you accept. You can't just say you hate this
Well,
thing but hate the other thing. You
for
know.
the record, I do think that was like it was less a pure advertisement for the game, but more for to accentuate the eccentric D&D nature of that game, because a
Yeah.
D&D session can get weird if you let it get weird,
Yeah.
and ideally it's more fun if you let it get weird. So it's like if
Mhm.
if you do things like that foibles, it's like I could see it going that way without it necessarily being some kind of weird, like crazy, like, oh, they're totally into doing animals. It's more like they're just letting it get wacky, and it's like they're saying like, okay, you remember, those feelings you get or those adventures you have that end up in weird, strange places. You can have those in this game, and it shares those D&D roots. And I think at the
Yeah.
end of the day, that's what it's about, less
Yeah.
about sex with animals.
'Cause I know, like right here, looking at the article here, I know that it got banned. The whole video scene got banned on TikTok because of that.
Hmm.
But it's TikTok is TikTok though. TikTok's gonna ban
Exactly.
anything.
TikTok will ban anybody.
As you show
That doesn't mean
a
anything.
little bit of, if you got big titties, they'll ban you. Don't trust me. I see. I follow a couple girls on Twitter that got banned for
Yeah, I've
having
seen
big
you get
titties.
banned for.
oh my
Yeah.
god, I
Oh,
can't believe
wow.
TikTok. I can't believe TikTok banned me, and the reason was because I had big titties.
Literally, hey, literally, man. That's literally what it is, though. Um, But I mean, it's I will say this though, it is a bit spicy because there's probably gonna end up being more romances in the game, of course, as well. So like, you don't have it's like one of those romances that you don't have to like go by, I guess. Uh, 'cause I know when I pick up the game, I'm probably gonna play as an origin character first, and then play as a custom character, kind of get like see like what the story wise is with each character or whatnot. Um,
Yeah.
but like, but again, it just go back to the conversation. It's like at the end of the day, you just people should just villainize people for having certain for liking in certain things. I guess you could say, right, when it comes down to it. Again, these are video games here. They're video games are potentially they're fantasies, anyways. If you want to play them,
Yeah.
play it. If you want to play it, play. If you don't want to play, avoid it. But a lot of people they want to talk, they talk because they feel like that they have they use their strong feelings. I guess I don't. I guess Um, but that's a lot. I mean, that's something that I have to say about that. It just seems potentially just weird. I just hope that it feels like just one of those situations where it's like they bring next time someone brings up big what's that one game that's coming out that people like we're talking so much, that Blade game. Ah, What was that
Which
game?
Yeah.
What was that game called? It was that Blade game with the Asian chick? She had
Oh yeah.
in
I think I
space
know what.
something like that. People brought up her a lot because she's a cute, sexy anime girl
It was yeah, but it
doing
was
badass things.
very like this is the most striking thing. It didn't. It looked visually impressive, but like it was the. I gotta find. We gotta find it, but it was very just the most
Stellar
notable
Blade, that's what
feature
it's
was
called. It was
that.
called Stellar
There
Blade.
you go, Stellar
Stellar
Blade.
Blade, yeah. It came to me.
Let me see.
But it's like, man, this girl, like, it's like y'all hate on her, but y'all don't hate on this druid. I mean, it's a good looking druid character, I guess. That, I mean, that's cool.
I feel like it's two opposite ends of the extreme of
Yeah,
like it's kind of outrageous. I think Stellar Blade doesn't look bad, but it also it's just it is kind of striking. So if you're not really gonna like that particular aesthetic, then I
Mhm.
could see people easily like going against like because you don't make that unless you're totally into it like
Mhm.
that. So it's kind of like one of those things. But I think it's the same with Divinity or not Divinity. Baldur's Gate is like you don't make that decision unless you're totally fully into it. It's like that because that has to get past people. And yeah.
Now, I will say this though, the
Mm.
scene was funny though, especially with the
Oh
squirrel
yeah.
sitting there. So that was funny. See that
Yeah.
squirrel just dropped the nut like that. See, so that was great. I will say that. But
Hmm.
people just gotta, I guess you say, just chill out on certain things, like because it's not that. Because at the end of the day, it is not that serious unless you make it serious, of course. And a lot of
Hmm.
people, took offense to that.
Yeah. I
But
feel like
go ahead,
it's
Vince.
also the fan service thing.
That too. I mean, like I said, it is D&D and it is wackiness. So that could see that happen. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so moving on to the next
Does he
subject,
know he's
Oh,
though.
he,
muted?
No, you hear me now,
I
right?
think
he's
he
probably
muted.
talking to someone right now.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
that makes sense.
No, I actually unmuted myself, but it didn't mute. Yeah, what you call it? It didn't unmute you guys. That's
That's
like that.
funny.
All right. So moving on, we're still gonna be talking about Larian here. So what brought this up is that Larian now, because of Baldur's Gate 3's releasing pretty soon, they stated that they're going to go on a well-deserved break. So what does that mean? A well-deserved break. Well, for us at least, that means that they've been working their ass off since like Divinity Original Sin 1, Divinity Original Sin 2, and Baldur's Gate 3. And they're an RPG studio. And I'll tell you what, it is hard to create an RPG game because there's a lot of work that gets put into creating an RPG game.
With the scope that like all these games are on, because the maps for these games are very big,
Oh yeah.
and they had to go into like very intricate detail on like everything that you can do, because there's multiple battles in each of these games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and like for what's stated is that so here's what the thing with Divinity, right? Because they actually made an update post in in their Steam forums or whatever, right? And they made an update
Yeah.
post stating like, or at least an article, right? And the article was talking about how when they're creating, when they're creating Divinity Resistance 2.
My thought, well, with this game series, I will say I am looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3 coming out. I've always wanted to try D&D, and this, in my opinion, would be kind of a good way to start with it, considering that it does have, the whole very big D&D mechanics of like stuff like with terms like cantrips. We roll dice, you know, out of 20, maybe it's the other dice that get rolled. I haven't really seen all the gameplay with Baldur's Gate 3, but when it comes to like the Divinity series,
Hmm.
more specifically, like this is my technically my first time like actually playing the series, and obviously playing with you two and Dark Riddler as well. It has been a very enjoyable experience,
Oh.
considering that we've gotten as far as we have.
Hmm.
The many tests that we've done.
The many, many, many deaths.
The accidental deaths of aka healing you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Bro,
I
you
think
get
part of that
bullied
is
a lot during our
yeah.
playthrough. We'll cast restoration. Yeah, you're like, oh shit, we forgot you're undead. Sorry, Ryan.
So I keep being like, hey, why don't you just announce what you're gonna do before you do it, and then we can be like, all right.
I mean,
But that's another
that
story.
is true. But oh,
Mm.
I was gonna say that would have been interesting
Yeah.
because then I would because like I could definitely see it like probably being like a combined skill book of like say Hydro and Geo, and I would definitely equip that if I can. And now that you mentioned that, Spacey, you've already mentioned that. There are probably already mods of that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I could definitely say that like with my character, which is obviously a cleric, I need to be more focused on making sure I can pump out as much healing as I can for everyone. But it's kind of hard because I need to make sure I have all these different healing skills, and the problem is that they start to kind of take up a lot of slots for other skills I could have. And I also have to be like jumping between hydro and warfare, but I'm also wanting to keep certain buffs like peace of mind and haste, so that way I could get all that stuff out.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Say I do need to start putting points into my single hand, just so that way I can do more damage with say battle stomp.
mm.
But even then, for the most part, I'm gonna be actually using more magic weapons or bouncing shields. So at that point, it doesn't really matter. But is why I'm also just trying to make sure that, like, for example, I obviously am gonna have 10 points in hydro, and then afterwards, put my points into say maybe, well, obviously warfare as well, so that way I do have more damage. But also maybe scoundrel, so that way I have a better chance of doing crits, especially if I get that one talent where magic does also have chances of doing crits.
Yeah. Now, when this pertains to Baldur's Gate, is that how Baldur's Gate works because it's D&D, and like it's literally that you have to before you can even think about getting to the game, like you got to think about what kind of race you're going to go with, because your
Mhm.
race matters, and within the game you can you can rearrange your classes how many times you want to, but your race you cannot change at all, and so
Mhm.
you have to figure out what kind of race you want to be, and what's important to you. Like my favorite race are tieflings. Tieflings are charismatic, and they have a bit points to intelligence and stuff like that. So it's like okay,
So,
go ahead.
so races in Baldur's Gate 3 are very like
They're
um similar
made,
to
yeah,
like how they are in Divinity, where like you'll probably get like, well, at least I know this for certain divinities that depending on your race, you also get a point into one of your these many different civil
yeah.
abilities, and as well as a skill.
Yeah, so in Divinity, it's like it's all race when it comes down to it. Like it's all about just your skill. Your classes or anything doesn't matter. It's just about your
Yeah.
skill. The skill. Like so, with humans, you'll get like I think with dwarves you get like fortify. Humans you get encourage. Lizards you get the flamethrower or the flame ability. Not I think
Uh,
undead you get
Dwarves get petrifying touch.
yeah,
Undead, you get
undead
yeah.
you get play dead. I think
Yeah.
Mm,
stuff like that. Now in what you got in Baldur's Gate 3, it's a lot different. So like your race really doesn't matter what kind of class you want to go. So example, you want to play a dwarf, right? So you want to play let's say you want to play a fighter, right?
Yep.
Dwarves are probably one of the best classes to play a fighter because you get bonuses to your constitution, also to your strength, and those are really important. Because you'll be passing strength checks and also constitution checks. So that means
But
that you go ahead.
but technically, if dwarves also have good constitution, would that probably make them a bit like semi good with being a cleric as well, or
Um,
eh,
you can make your character how you want. You can. I mean, that's if
yeah,
you want. Like, so what you would have to do because you're going to if you, huh? Oh, thank you.
Let me know when y'all start playing if y'all play today.
All right. So if you when it comes to becoming a what do you call?
cleric?
I'm doing this for a reason.
Oh,
I'm doing it for editing purposes. So when it comes to being a cleric, right? At least for if especially when to be a dwarven cleric, you will have your kind of character is like you have to focus on um your your intelligence, probably strength, and also constitution. So you would have to take points away from your wisdom or whatnot, and keep your intelligence up.
okay,
Um, and so when you you take points away for wisdom, and then you put points into intelligence because your spells are going to be doing more, a lot more damage, of course. So that's what you would do, especially if you want to play like a dwarf, which is focusing on shielding as well as a fighter. So you're a cleric, you want to focus on that's called being a shield. You'll have to go to the shield subclass. Now, keep in mind though, that's just the sub race. That's just the dwarven sub race. So keep in
yeah,
mind that the game has about 2 to 3 sub races. There's only 2 in early access. I think there's going to be a third for each of them, and when the game fully releases. So the sub race that you could choose from if you want to go the route is be the shield guy or whatnot, be the shield race, and then
yeah,
that's all you have to do, and then you'll get your points and stuff. And then, because when you level up, I think when you get to level 2, you're able to choose your subclass, like what subclass you would want to go. And I have to check out what the subclasses are for the fighter class. Well, one of them was champion for sure, and there's like the one I think the other one's Eldritch Knight. And Eldritch Knight, it's more so you're like a damage dealer, and so like something like that. But I mean, speaking of which, no, I'll take that back. Hold on. That's the fighter class though. But yeah, if you're talking about cleric, then yeah, you'll put points into intelligence, and then
okay,
you actually choose a cleric class, and you'll put points to intelligence or whatnot, or it should automatically do that. So you have to take down your wisdom and then put points back into constitution. Because with dwarves, you automatically get like a plus two to constitution, and the shield dwarf gives you +2 to strength. So that's already strong enough right there. That's if you want to go the dwarf route, and then if you want to go the human, like you want to play basic humans, they're like the all around character. They get like a +1 to everything, and that's if you want to go.
yeah.
If you want to go that route, you can.
I mean, like, I'm sure that when the game comes out, when we do a playthrough of the game, I can, do my research on what
Yeah,
class could be good as a cleric.
yeah. But
Considering that I don't mind being the designated healer for our team, but at the same time, I also want to try and do
well,
something
I will say
other
this.
than that as well.
I will say this. In D&D, I wouldn't say there's something like a designated healer, because the thing I say this is that spells in D&D, they have a certain amount of slot, like spell casting slots, I guess you could say, right? So example,
Yeah,
you can only cast 3 spells per day or 4 spells per day, so on and so forth. And so most spells, you have to, if you want to heal somebody, you have to roll like, most healing is a roll between like 1d10. So you get healed 1 to 10. So healing is like you can't just heal. You gotta actually rest and stuff. It's like
yeah.
it's changed that way. Like, it's a lot changed, compared to Divinity. But that's from my experience. But yeah. Larian Studios though, if they ever think about playing or not playing, but creating I'm sorry, Divinity Original Sin 3, I can tell you this right now. They're probably not gonna be like start on until at least about 2020, 25, 26. 2023 is like, or 24 is like break time. Break time slash
Yeah.
like, patching time. That's how I can see it. But any last thoughts on Borders Gate, y'all? Like, are y'all excited for it? Y'all ready for it? Like, what up?
Yeah, I'm ready for when it comes out.
Y'all ready for another 150-hour game? RPG?
Yeah, I'd like to get some time with it myself, but I kind of want to jump back into the other ones just to see what they're like. Especially knowing that there's also all those Divinity games. I'm kind of curious about how they all play. Like,
Yeah, I didn't even know that Larian developed all the Divinity games, mind you.
it's good.
So that's very surprising. But yeah,
It's good.
The other
Great
Baldur's
game.
Gates. like in terms of, from what I know, is that in terms of like story, they all like self-contained, but I believe there's going to be certain characters making a comeback within within Baldur's Gate 3 because years and years, spellcasters, I can live forever, bullshit going on. So,
Mhm.
but that's all I
I
have
mean,
to say about.
shit, we,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, shit, we already met one of them in Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yeah, that is Johan. He is from the first game. Johan is old, y'all. The first game in chronological order when it comes to Divinity, by the way, is like the second game of the series. In looking at the timeline, Johan is like at least about 500,000 years old. Dead ass. Dead ass.
If we gotta play it, what? We should an order of event or order of release.
I would
Quick
say
answers off order of release.
if you want,
But
you can't. I would say just go by order of events. Honestly, like you want to.
yeah,
That's what I would say. Like you got to play it. So that'll be like the 2013 game is first. Then you got to play the original Sin. Then you got to play the other two.
yeah.
A couple more
The
front
crappy
books.
part is like the fidelity is just gonna go wild.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna like wildly go from like, oh, this looks really good to, oh, this is good for back when they came out in 2002.
But that's all I have to say about Baldur's Gate. Do you guys have any last words for Baldur's Gate, y'all? Anything? Nothing? You sure?
No.
All right. No, that's fine. That's fine.
And I hope there's other animals that they let you fornicate
Oh, apparently,
as a druid.
apparently, as a druid, there's also other forms of animals you can choose from. So,
Let's see how weird this game can get.
but
Let's see how many
Ryan's
countries
just like,
get
I'm
banned
only
in.
invested in this for
Well, hey, it's like I said, it's an actual D&D session. That's what they're trying to sell to you. So
yeah, without having to actually, go to your friends. But thank you guys for watching this video. Do appreciate that. If you guys enjoyed, definitely consider liking and subscribing for more content like this. You guys can check out Vented Black Knight on his Twitter account as Hashmail. You can also check out Works Tips on Twitter as well. Thank y'all for watching. Peace out. Much love. You guys have a good one. Signing out. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also hit the bell notification down below. Thanks for watching.